Something in September. Hey guys, it's Denise Cooper, and this is Booktube Live, September 22nd, 2017. And I am just going to pull up my little John Coltrane because that's what I do and that's what I like. And I don't think they've been caring much lately. So anyway, tonight I am going to be turning John Coltrane down. This is Booktube on Booktube Live. Because this is how I want to do it because, yeah, turn him down a little bit. I just do not want to edit videos anymore. And now I'm starting to wonder, oh, I got to set up for Booktube Live. Yeah. Either way, it's work. Work is work is work. So either way, you're going to have some sort of work to do. So I'm going to turn down Mr. Coltrane and say hi to everybody. And thank you so much for the past couple of days going live here and talking to you and you talking to me. It's been a lot of fun. So I do have, and I was dropping things before I even hit the little live button because, you know, yes, I have on my Bob Marley. Get up, stand up. Anyway, I really wish I lived in a time where I could have seen him, but I did see most of his kids, so yeah, and the trees, so I felt very blessed to have been able to see them. So tonight, as you see in the thumbnail picture, maybe you did not, I don't know if that is just for the recording, but I'm going to read a poem. One of my favorite books is Asada by Asada Shakur, and I am going to turn down John, or actually just silence him. But I just have to have him to get me going, that kind of a thing. So I'm going to read a poem from here. I was telling you guys last night when you joined in that that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about today. So today I will be reading a poem that she wrote about her mother. And I usually dog ear. This book is a book that I read with my book club in Florida years ago, and I wrote in this book, took notes inside of this book. So there's a lot of dog earing and note taking because I was like, nobody's getting this book. I mean, there's notes up there, there's probably coffee stains. But anyway, so I was reading over some of the poetry, and I was like, I just really liked the fact that she inserted poetry in this book. And this is a tale about her. Of course, we know Asada Shakur. If you do not know who she is, she's in Cuba. She was exiled from the United States, kicked out, booted out, what have you. And will you find out how she got there and out of this country by reading this book? I don't know. You tell me. No, seriously, that is probably one of the things that I love about people when they talk about this book. And I have listened to a couple of reviews, but I gave this book to my nephew once me and my book club finished it. And he passed it back to me. He goes, how'd she get there? And Nancy. And I was like, I don't know. We're not gonna talk about it. So he reads the book and he really loves it, and he gave it back to me, and it was awesome to just talk to my nephew about this book and also the book club. So if you have not read this book, it is definitely worth picking up. It is Asada Shakur. Look at that fro, baby. Anyway, so I'm going to read from that, and if you do have a favorite poem, just put it in the comments after this live recording. You know, it records and it stays on YouTube. So I am going to do that, and I'm just going to talk about this poetry, and I'm also going to talk about my current reads and my next month reads, things that I want to read and what I'm kind of leaning towards, but I might need your help. So I'm actually on my channel trying to find out so that I can see you guys, and I don't see anything, but yet I see the time clocking down. There we go. Now it's up. It's a serious delay, so I've learned from the 2 times that I've done this that just go ahead and talk because it's just like live, and instead of going, can you guys hear me? Are you there? Is anybody out there? There you go. Instead of going, so you see that? Can you guys hear me? There you go. So now I'm going to bring up the side part so that I can see if anybody is here. And I am going to read from the poem because I don't want to be spending too much time just sitting here looking at the computer unless you are here. So this is what I'm reading from, and it is on her mother. So I'm going to take off my glasses because that's what I have to do, babies. You know I can't see. and this is the longest I've probably gone without my contacts. Usually I get my glasses 1 year and then wear contacts and give myself a break. I've been wearing these glasses for like, what, 4 or 5 years now? So I must really like them. They're blue and they're green. I don't know. But I'm getting so ridiculously blind and just nearsighted as I don't know what. But I'm going to read a poem on, oh, that's what I was saying before I start checking to see if it was actually recording. Is if you have a favorite poem, please share it in the comments section once, either if you do join here tonight, that way I can read it, or if you're waiting for the recording, because this is 1 hour from 9 p.m. Central Standard Time to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm here in Texas. And for all of you East Coasters who have been joining in on the conversation, I can't talk tonight, I appreciate it because it's like you guys are 1 hour ahead. And I know Dee Dee was telling me it's like 3 a.m. when I do this over in Paris. So I can't wait to talk to her tomorrow. So when she wakes up, because she's going to be way ahead of us. So Saturday, I don't really know what time I'm going to do the live. It'll probably be in the afternoon. I think I wrote it down in the description box. If you do not read description boxes, then I'm telling you now that what I wrote in the description box is from Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will do the live Booktube live because I don't want to edit and I think it's fun this way. Hi, I just saw somebody pop up, but I don't have my glasses on, so I'm going to read the poem and then we're going to chat about it. And also from Saturday, I am working overtime at my job, so I don't get off until 12 noon, but I kind of want to do it on Saturday in the afternoons, like early, not wait until 9 p.m. since I'm doing it at 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. So if you have a best time that you would be able to participate in this live conversation and talk about books on Booktube Live, then let me know in the comment section after the recording or tonight live. So this, again, this is the Asada book and it's called To My Mama, and it's like towards the end part of the book. And there's another poem back here too. So she was really good at talking about the Black Panther Party because she was a Black Panther. And everything wasn't so positive in her experience. There's positives and there's negatives in everything. But this is a journey of a life, of a woman, of a shero. That I love this poem. And it's called To My Mama. To my mama, who has swallowed the American dream and choked on it. To my mama, whose dreams have fought each other and died, who sees but cannot bear to see a volcano eating its own lava. To my mama, who couldn't turn hell into paradise and blamed herself, who has always seen reflected in her mirror an ugly duckling. To my mama, who makes no demands of anyone, 'cause she don't think she can afford to. So I'll read that again. To my mama, who makes no demands of anyone because she don't think she can afford to, who thinks her money talks louder than her womanhood. To my butch film mama, who has always taken care of business, who has never drifted hazily to sleep thinking he will take care of it, in quotes, who has schemed so much she sometimes schemes against herself. To my sweet, shy mama, who is uneasy with people because she don't know how to be phony and is afraid to be real, who has longed for sculptured gardens, whose potted plant dies slowly on the sill. And my son is calling. And I don't know if you're still recording. Okay, so to my sweet, shy mama, who is uneasy with people because she don't know how to be phony and is afraid to be real, who has longed for sculptured gardens, whose potted plant dies slowly on the windowsill. Hope you guys can hear me because I see some people popping in. And we have all been infected with a sickness that can be traced back to the auction block. You must not feel guilty for what has been done to us. Only the strong go crazy. The weak just go along. And what I thought was cruelty, I understand was fear. That hands stronger than yours and wider than yours would strangle my young life into oblivion. Mama, I am proud of you. I look at you and see the strength of our people. I have seen you struggle in the dark and the world beating on your back, dragging your catch back to our den, pulling your pots and pans out to cook it, a mop in one hand, a pencil in the other, marking up my homework with your love. The injured have no blame. Let it fall on those who injure. Leave the past behind where it belongs and come with me toward tomorrow. I love you, Mommy, because you are beautiful and I am life that springs from you. Part tree, part weed, part flower. My roots run deep. I have been nourished well. Oh, Asada Shakur. If that ain't love. Now I'm going to put on my glasses and see what y'all saying, because I hope y'all heard me. Because I won't be reading that again. Hi, Kia. Hi, Kia Danae. Hello. Hi, Karen. Hi, Run Right Reads. I hope that you have a favorite poem of yours that you're going to share with us, and yay. So it's so nice to have you ladies back here. I actually have my little paper out so that I can put your names on it. I've been keeping track of that, and I've been doing good. I think live is going to be good for me to keep myself more organized with my channel. I really think it's going to be good. So this was Asada. If you just joined, I was reading from this book, and she has some poetry throughout. I've taken notes in this book. I usually don't like to write in books. I don't know when I stopped, because I think when I first started when I was young, I used to see my mother highlight newspapers and books and things that she read, and my dad did the same thing. My sister Sabrina, she used to always take notes, and so I used to do that. And remember those days when you used to highlight your Bible? And my daughter used to do that, and her whole Bible was just highlighted up. It was pink and green and purple and blue and whatever highlighters that she would use. So I took a lot of notes in this book, and I truly, absolutely will be rereading it next year for the Blackout. So I wanted to start tonight by reading a poem of hers. And let me put her down here. There. Now, if you guys have a favorite poem, just tell me what it is, or maybe who your favorite poet is. And being that she's a revolutionary Black Panther, and everybody knows that she was exiled or sent packing to Cuba, where she still resides. And she does have a website, I believe, because I remember I used to go on it. And the thing is, you don't really hear people say, or too many people say, because I don't know everybody. I'm just saying, we all know that book. We all know her story, those of us who have read it. But you don't think of her as a poet until you read that book. You go, man, she was a nice poet. So I think there's a poet in all of us. You know, life is poetic. So, and she says, hey, Karen, she says, that line I understand was, that line I understand was fear that hands, stronger than yours and wider than yours, made me think of something. Her poem is addressed to her mother, but in that line, she breaks character and starts addressing the white man. Yes, yes, because it's almost like she's, to me, when I first read it, and I've read it several times, and that line does come up. Like, she's writing this poem almost like to shield her mother. Like, I understand what has happened to you, what has happened to a people, and it's just, you can get so much from that poem, and it may sound like it's only just this, affectionate poem from daughter to mother, and especially after what this daughter has gone through, and she's recognizing what her mother has gone through at the hands of. So that is definitely a highlight. Remember when Toni Morrison mentioned that she doesn't write for white readers? Most definitely. I told you guys in videos before, if you're new and you've never heard me say this, there's something about her. Like the other day when I put on the video that I was going live on, I put it on Instagram, and Bernice McFadden, okay? Bernice McFadden. So she'll comment, she likes our, I think she just really loves her readers. And so, I just stared at the comment, and I told her, I said, I'm just staring at this comment because I just watched you again last night. Because Bernice McFadden, you can find her on YouTube and her interviews are there. And I think it's Well Read Black Girl, or don't quote me. But anyway, they have a channel on YouTube, and they do interviews with writers. And so Bernice McFadden is on there talking about one of my favorite books that she's written, The Book of Harlan. And I watched it last night, or that night, and the next day when I made that video and she commented, I'm thinking, I was just watching you. So I watched Bernice McFadden videos because I like to hear, she's such a good storyteller. And then I binge on Toni Morrison interviews when she's, back in the day from like most recent. And there's so many videos out there, and I have purchased and found, luckily, there's one in my living room, so I'm not going to get up and go get it. But there are books on Toni Morrison. And I remember once when I was watching all these Toni Morrison videos and just listening to hear her talk and tell her story and say what you had just brought up about who she's not writing for. I'm watching her, and the lady, I think there was an interview with the lady, and I go online and I look up this lady or a book that I had read by Toni Morrison, and I start watching the video or something happened. And I'm looking up the writer or someone that interviewed her. This lady has like a degree in Toni Morrison. I told my daughter, a dang degree in Toni Morrison. They're giving these out. I mean, you can actually go study. And this was, a while ago. So when I told my daughter that, I was like, I need a degree in Toni Morrison. I need to do this. I need to figure out how I can get those classes and study this woman who I study on my own. And not just by way of her literature, but also because she's so much of her literature. I mean, that's who she is, and those are the stories she's telling, and she's doing more than just storytelling. But there's something that is so special about her when you hear her speak. And talking about audiobooks, as I've been reading audiobooks, and I'll show you guys what I finished actually today. But she's got this real slow cadence. So if you have no patience and you just think an audiobook, I can just pop it in the car and I'll be done with this book in a couple of days or a day. No, not with Miss Morrison, because she's going to lay it down real smooth like, and it's going to be beautiful, and you might as well pay attention, because I don't have time for your little shenanigans. This is my story, and this is the way I'm going to tell it. And she talks so smooth, and I love it. And so, yeah, I'm sorry, I went off on a Morrison rant, but that's just how it is. And Karen, I got to catch up. Let's see here. It reminded you of that. What kind of job do you get with a degree in Toni Morrison? Haha, exactly. The lady, to me, I mean, I really think she either has that degree to teach and write about her mentor or her idol, and she does. I think she's a journalist, and that would be I mean, because with journalism, they can pretty much have a degree in anything. And so since this is, a literary degree, she's got a degree on one of the greats. I imagine she can probably get a job at any college or whatever, But I mean, I was like, oh my God, I just want that degree because I want the knowledge of this woman, Miss Chloe, as I call her, because that's her real name. But also, this is what I just finished today. Michael, I always say Shaban. Like, I always heard people say Shaban. And I'm like, are we just doing too much? It's not even Shaban. It's Chaban or something. Because the guy, if you ever watch Scandal on whatever channel it comes on, because I watch it on Hulu. And Scandal, with Miss Washington, Kerry Washington and the whole crew, the, what do they call them? The gladiators. Well, Charlie, who's in love with... I forget her name, Lynn. Oh my gosh. It hasn't been on in a while. But anyway, the guy that plays Charlie, one of the gladiators now that was killing folks, he is a really good narrator. And the reason why I got this Michael Chabon book on audio is because he's narrated it. And I found out that he narrates because I checked out the audiobook, A Man Called Uva, because that's how he says it on there. It looks like it's spelled O-V-E, and I thought it was O-V, but when you listen to the audio, and he keeps saying over and over, a man called Ovu, I believe is how he pronounced it. But anyway, so I went into the library. I loved his voice so much doing the audio. I just looked up books that he's read, and that's why I listened to this. And I finished it today, and it was pretty short. It's only 12 CDs, you guys. 12. So only 12, and I'm listening also still to The Philosophers, which is a lot more than 12 CDs. I believe it's like 17, maybe 20, I don't know. And then also my Richard North Patterson. So I'm still listening to those. One's a thriller, one's obviously more intellectual, talking about philosophy. And I'm on the philosophy. I really enjoyed Spinoza because I had never really read anything about Spinoza. I don't even know if I really heard about him until I listened to that CD. So, very interesting. And it covered Voltaire. So, I'm really enjoying it. But I have put them down, and I popped this in and start, recording it on my laptop like I was telling you guys. Like, I felt like I was stealing from the library, but Michael Reed said he was doing it too. So I got most of this, and then I was like, I just kept popping in the next CD every time it was done, and I'm doing art while listening. That's why I'm getting a lot more audiobooks right now, is because of that fact, as I'm doing a lot more art, and I need a story. I'm always going to need to read a book, and I can't read and do art. So this is the way to go for me right now. And all right, Bob, I'm so sorry, but I really liked it. I just put it on my Goodreads that I read it, and I gave it 3 stars because it was entertaining. It's the way he's telling the story, and even in the story, he kind of says how fiction books are kind of basically maybe a true history of what that writer is going through. So he's telling the story of writing a book about his grandparents. And his grandfather is so darn interesting that I just kept putting in the next CD. So you could kind of equate that to a page turner friendly book. This was CD friendly. So I'm gonna put that over there on my bed. And I also finished Stephen King's The Gunslinger for the second time. I say 2.5 times because I did read The Gunslinger, the Gunslinger rather, from the Dark Tower series in graphic novel, and I liked it because I already knew the story, but the art was just beautiful. And I kind of wanted to show you guys, and this is my book. I went and got it from I hope I'm not missing anything. I went and got this from Half Price Books, and it has beautiful illustration pictures. Check that out. Can you see it? Yay! And it's all throughout the book. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And I tell you, this is like the revised version. And in the beginning of the book, Stephen King says, I mean, it's just so Americana, but it was so uplifting. I'm just going to read the last part of the introduction and he wrote the introduction and his own foreword. He says, the result, for better or worse, and he wrote this book when he was 19, so this is a revised edition, and he revised it because he got hit and thought he was going to die. And people were sending him messages like, hey, I'm glad you're feeling better, but you better finish that series. So he did. And he says, the result, for better or worse, lies before you. Constant reader. And he's talking to us, which I really like the way he talks to people. Whether you're reading this or starting with volume 1 or preparing for volume 5, like it or hate it, the story of Roland is now done. I hope you enjoy it. As for me, I had the time of my life. Stephen King, January 25th, 2003. And he's now 70 years old because he just had a birthday. And so this is my 2.5 read because I really don't count that graphic novel as reading The Gunslinger because it misses a lot of stuff. But it gives you the good flavor of it. And what am I missing, Kia? And Karen? What kind of job did you get? Okay, I read that. How could I find you on Goodreads? I remember you saying you have a new page. Yeah, I got rid of one because somebody was talking like I should, be their secretary or the editor or something. I don't know, but it just got bad. And it was all over books. I mean, really. So it is, let me actually go to it and put on my glasses because I lost all my books and all this stuff, and I had to start over. And I'm on Goodreads now, so I am. It's not a picture of me; it's a picture of my president, Barack Obama, and Michelle. Thank you very much. And it's just a picture of them dancing, and she's got on a white dress, and he's all suited down in black and white. And my name, where is it? You're asking my name, and I'm sitting up here trying to segue. Oh, there we are. There we are. There we are. Okay, Denise, it's going slow. Did I hit something? Did I unplug the internet? Did I do something bad? Anyway, we're going to see what I am. I believe it's Art Books Life. And because it used to be just like this channel, Denise D. Cooper, Art Books Life. And yeah, I think I hit something. Anyway, oh, it's coming up. But I think that's what I'm under. And I need to go on my YouTube page and change the link because there's that Goodreads little button there. So I don't know if it directs you. I'll try it now, actually. And okay, thank you. Hi, Kay. Thank you. It's Art Books Life. I'm all slow. Okay, there we go. Coltrane. So hold on. Let me play Mr. Coltrane while I'm trying to figure something out. Because I done hit something. Yeah, it's Art Books Life, as Kay said, and my list is coming up. I think, there we go. Plug everything in and stop moving around. And it's capital A-R-T-B, capital B-O-O-K-S, capital L-I-F-E, all together, no spaces, Art Books Life. That's what I love. I love art, and I love my books, and I love my life. And as you see, if you're on there, Kia, don't laugh at me. I'm still reading A Brief History of Seven Killings. Oh, Jesus. I don't know. I mean, I know it's really good. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. Why am I going to the library checking out audiobooks? Now, I did take back all my physical books, even the ones I have not read, because I was like, I'm giving myself book anxiety. I'm checking out stuff because I didn't buy it and I really want this, and it's saving me money. The Unseen World. I did not want to take it back to save my life, but I was like, I'm going to buy that book probably later. And I was like, no, it's at the library. Just take it back, read it when you're ready, because you got some books on your shelf that you told yourself that you were going to read. So read them things. Okay, so when you look at my list, I'm just holding on to Brief History, I guess, because it's mine. I can read it when I want. It's not like I got to take it back to the library. And so I'm just milking it or something. I don't know. Do you guys do that? Who does that? Who does that but me? I feel bad because I should be done with that book. It's like, I'm just, okay, I'm going to be real with you. Papalo he gets on my nerves. I got some favorite characters in that book, and he's not one of them. But I like it when, I like the way he wrote it, and it's just so gritty and grimy and raw and violent, and it's a journey. That's all I'm going to say. But it's really good. I found it. Thank you. So thanks, UK. Hi. Now, and on my list here, what do I have? Okay, if you guys know of your favorite poets, and I don't know, I didn't even scroll through to see if you even answered that question. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to read some poetry, which my son is a poet, and he's really good. Actually, all my kids write really good poets. If you watch my channel before, I've said that a million times, but, and I have my own little poetry books, but, and I like writing it, from time to time. But more than anything, if I had to, I asked myself this one time, would I rather write a book or paint and create my art? And I had to think about that for like some months, because I started off, my first love was writing. And because I think it's because I was reading and all the time when I was younger, and my mother's books and her giving me everything from, Donald Goines, which I shouldn't have been reading, everything from Donald Goines to, my dad, who taught criminal law and criminal justice, and looking at his college books and reading that. And then my mother, she gave me one of my favorite books of all time, which is Man-Child in the Promised Land by Claude Brown. And that got me on a journey to just read everything that a black man has ever written in my life, because I loved it. And so, yeah. One of my favorite poets and poems, Dream Deferred by Langston Hughes. I call him my Kansas homie. I'm originally from Kansas. And in Lawrence, Kansas, where my mother is buried and her mother is buried, and my family, I guess, because my mother's family is originally from Arkansas, and then they moved to Lawrence, Kansas. And in Lawrence, Kansas, they have a thing downtown with one of Langston Hughes saying, because he lived in Kansas for a while, and just he feels like home. Langston Hughes and Gordon Parks just feel like home because they have touched Kansas. Barack Obama feels like home because he used to live in Kansas. So yeah, that's why he's on my picture on Goodreads. He's my homie. Here, Barack. So anyway, the other thing that I was going to write down or go over tonight, since this video is long, like I said, I do want to be able to cover something because it's going to be recorded and not just sit here and chat like it's not Booktube or something. But that is most of my conversation, arts, books, and life. And if you guys want to chat about anything, let me know. I only wrote down like 3 things tonight. And I'm going to turn down the Coltrane. Turn down the Coltrane. Oh, that's me. I'm sorry, my bad. I'm turning me up. Okay. I'm going to read you because you just popped up. Okay, it says, hey sis, hey Denise, how are you? Welcome back. And then Kay's got a message, so I got to go back over here and take a look at it. I love Donald. Donald Goins, yes ma'am. And I've started collecting his books to read. My mother used to have them, back in the day when headboards, I don't know, I don't like headboards. I've always got art sitting there. But anyway, my mother had this headboard, that covered her long, king size bed or whatever. And, it has the bookshelves in it. Those, I'm old because I don't even see those anymore. But her bookshelf was just like stacked, and you would see all these Donald Goins books and all this and all that. And then she had all these albums from Millie Jackson to Richard Pryor she had, and I still love that song to this day, Peter Frampton Live, Doobie Wah. If you've never heard of that, you're young and you need to get on it because it's really a good, it's like one of the best like rocky type of soul songs from back in the day. Hey, Denise. I am on my channel and I am looking at snow. It says video playback interrupted. Please try again. So, but it still says I'm counting down time. I'm 32 minutes and 40 seconds in. However, if you guys can still see that I'm on here, let me know because my video just said snow. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. Unable to connect to chat. Please try again later. Okay, so I don't really know. Okay, you see me. Okay, so the chat went down. So maybe it was YouTube or maybe I didn't hit anything. Because I'm thinking it's my fault. I found it. Thank you. Thanks, Kia. Are we friends now? One of my favorite poets and poems. And Dream Deferred. And I love Donald. I've started. Yep. And then hey sis. Okay. So and then I got that error message. So we'll go on with the rest because if you guys are typing anything after Denise Rader said hey sis and I see you, that's the last thing I'm seeing. And then there's an error for YouTube. And it says we'll try to connect you or please try again later. Whatever. So YouTube, don't be giving me no problems. I'm already not trying to edit and do videos and take all the time in the world and do that. So now I'm going live now and you're going to give me some problems. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. The TBR list, that's what I want to go over. Okay, my finished reads. Okay, I just showed you The Gunslinger. We talked about that. Moonglow, Michael Chabon. We talked about that. So those are the 2 most recent things that I've completed. So happy to complete something because I'm telling you, the Marlon James is giving me the go. And also still reading the Decameron. And I really enjoyed listening to you talk about the Decameron. And I was like, Oh my God, it's going to get even more interesting because, like I told you, I'm not even 100 pages in, and it's already interesting. And I really like the flow of it. Isn't he kind of like chatty to you? I like the flow of it. I can almost hear an accent or something. It's just written really, I don't know, at ease. Like this is just how it is, and this is what's happening, kind of a thing. And so we talked about that, and then I did read my poem, which I was kind of nervous to do, but I just really wanted to read that poem and get some of you your input on your favorite poems. And yes, Langston Hughes is definitely one of my favorite poets of all time. You know what I love about Langston Hughes? Because one of my favorite writers is Alice Walker, okay? And it's not because of The Color Purple. I always put her as my number one when, because Langston's definitely one of my number ones, and Richard Wright. Okay, but Alice Walker had been like my number one forever because of, okay, The Color Purple I loved, but Possessing the Secret of Joy and The Temple of My Familiar, which still have some of those same characters in them. If you haven't read them, and I haven't read them in years, and I do plan on rereading those next year because those are two of my favorite all-time books, period. And they're Alice Walker, one of my favorite writers of all time. And my daughter loves those two books also because I was like, Tasha, you got to read these books. And I think her favorite is Possessing the Secret of Joy. And my first favorite of those two is The Temple of My Familiar. So read The Temple of My Familiar after you've read The Color Purple. If you have not read The Color Purple, I know Nisi, the nappy bookish babe who was over here last night talking and chatting, she is going to read that. Her video was up today, and she makes you kind of guess, and I just guess I messed it up. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Denise. So there's all kind of Denises. Did you notice that in Booktube? There's a lot of people that begin with D. There's Dominique. There was Danny. There's Dee Dee. There's Denise. There's Denise. There's Denise again. I mean, it's just a lot of us. But anyway, that was so random. Anyway, the poetry, and also read from those 3 books. Actually, and when I did my TBR for the rest of the year. So we're ending up the 3rd quarter, right? And I'm supposed to only be reading the Decameron and finishing up the brief history of 7 killings. I wasn't supposed to add Stephen King and all these other Moonglow and, the philosophy and all these other books, but I thought I could get away with audiobooks because I can't do art and open up a physical book. So I'm not going to count that against myself. But what I am, because I should not have taken the time and read this for a 2.5 time, 231 pages, when I could have read more of the 2 books that I wanted to read. So help me. No, that's basically what I wanted to do, is just kind of figure out why am I still doing that? Why am I picking up other stuff? Anyway. And when I know the year is almost over, is basically. But these were the 3, and actually there were 4 that I had in that video of the last books that I want to read for this year. Stephen King, move out of my way. And I seriously want to just read another Stephen King book. I'm not even going to lie. But these are the 4 books that I had that I was going to read for the ending of the year. These babies right here. So I read the first 2 sentences, and I noticed something. And I thought, wow, this is interesting. Is this a formula that people have to go by as a writer? Now, I was going to read these, and this is an hour-long video, so I'm going to read them. And I don't want to mess up. If you have any questions or something to talk about, let me know, because I'm going to see it pop over here just like I just did. I love Donald, and I thought, oh, no, the chat is still down, but the time is still going up. Okay, so I'm just going to keep talking. And what I recognized, I literally, that's the video that I lost, and it's somewhere in my computer that I can't even get a hold of, and I'm not even trying anymore. I'm just like done with that. So I'm gonna have somebody else do it, but I'm gonna read from these, and just the first 2 sentences, not the whole page or anything to bore you, but see if you notice what I noticed. And I thought, wow. Okay, so anyway, this is City on Fire. This is City on Fire. And they all sound interesting, but when I read these, I was doing that, reading the first 2 sentences to see what I want to start with come October 1st. And so this is City on Fire. This is just the first 2 sentences. I've said that a million times. Bear with me. A Christmas tree was coming up 11th Avenue, period. That's the first sentence. Or rather, comma, was trying to come, semicolon. Having tangled itself in a shopping cart, someone had abandoned it on the crosswalk, comma. It shuddered and bristled and heaved, comma, on the verge of bursting into flame, period. A Christmas tree coming up in a shopping cart. And it's a very short first sentence and a kind of lengthy second sentence. That's City on Fire. And then I'm going to read from The Goldfinch, Donna Tartt, the first 2 sentences. And then I will look at the messages and hopefully check in and I'm getting them. First 2 sentences from The Goldfinch. I don't want to spoil it for you. I told you, like I've said it several times, go get some coffee and come back. While I was still in Amsterdam, comma, I dreamed about my mother for the first time in years, period. First sentence. I'm hooked, right? I've been shut up in my hotel for more than a week, comma, afraid to telephone anybody or go out, semicolon, and my heart scrambled and floundered at even the most innocent noises, colon, elevator bell, comma, rattle of the minibar cart, comma, even church clocks tolling the hour, comma, die Westerhorn, whatever, Kritzberg, a dark edge to the clangor, comma, an inwrought fairy dash tale, sense of doom, period. Hell of a long sentence, second sentence, first sentence, very short. You see where I'm going with this? Those are the 2 big books I want to read. This is the third whopper. Yeah, The Luminaries. Dee Dee said read this one. So then I just read the first 2. And she's got a lot of information in the beginning of this book. Thank God. And this sounds interesting too. First sentence. The 12 men congregated in the smoking room of the Crown Hotel gave the impression of a party accidentally met. Period. Really good first sentence. I can see them. From the variety of their comportment and dress, frock coats, comma, tailcoats, comma, Norfolk jackets with buttons of horn, comma, yellow moleskin, comma, cambric, comma, and twill, they might have been 12 strangers on a railway car, comma, each bound for a separate quarter of a city that possessed fog and tides enough to divide them, semicolon, indeed, comma, the studied isolation of each man as he pored over his paper, comma, or leaned over to lap his ashes into the grate, comma, or placed the splay of his hand upon the baize to take his shot at billiards, comma, conspired to form the very type of bodily silence that occurs late in the evening, comma, I missed a comma, on a public railway, deadened here not by the slur and clunk of the coaches, comma, but by the fat clatter of the rain, period. Her whole first sentence, very short. Her whole second sentence is the whole dang paragraph. But it was interesting, don't you think? Tell me which one I should read next. Oops, but I got one more. I got Cold Mountain, comma, semicolon. So what I noticed about those 3 whoppers of a book is I started to wonder, are their editors the same? Are the editors in the same school of business? Is it a way to catch people's attention to have this very short, crisp sentence and then the second sentence be so long and just like pull you into that first sentence and that first feel? And which one did it better? Which one do you think? I already have a favorite. Out of those 3, I already have a favorite. So now I'm going to check because I can see it popping up here. But let's see if YouTube is actually working on the laptop. Because I can't see them on the phone. Nope, still at Denise and Kay saying that she loves Donald Goines. Maybe I should refresh. Let me see if that helps. Maybe they fixed the problem. I just need to refresh. And I'm at 44 minutes. It's 45 after the hour. Okay. I think that helped. I think it did. Let's see. Let's see. Hey sis, I see you. I read that before. What is the Oh, see? I can see now. Okay, so they did fix it. What is the Illuminaries about? Looks good. And that's Denise. And the Luminaries is hard to describe, but it's about a lot of characters and how the lives intersect. It's set in New Zealand around the gold rush. Thanks, Run Right Reads. Thank you so much for explaining because I couldn't even see this until now, so I should have refreshed that earlier. So now I know going forward, if it stops up with YouTube, you guys are still seeing things. So, Denise, what I was saying about, I'm glad how she has this laid out in the beginning because she has a character chart. Very happy about that because I'm going to need it. And do you think you needed it, Karen? That's what I want to know. Do you think that that helped you? I think when I heard, I think it was Barry Pierce or Bass Pierce, when he used to do YouTube videos. Now he's just always on Twitter and Instagram. But I remember, I think it was him who said he really appreciated that she had the character chart in the beginning. So if that helped you, please let me know. And I'll take a look over here. Thanks, Run Right Reads. I'm not getting any messages, so hopefully it hasn't gone down because that's the last one I saw. So then the last one I'm supposed to read, that's an interesting observation about the first two sentences. Hi there, beautiful, beautiful woman. Hi there. I really enjoy your channel. I didn't get to say hi to you last night. So yes, pretty brown-eyed reader. I am so happy you are here. And that is interesting, but doesn't it make you think, like, do they all have the same editor? Is that it start making me think about all the other books that I'm reading, like, so far. Is that like a new thing? Because these books are not old, you know what I'm saying? These books are so heavy, I'm just dropping stuff. But City on Fire, which still to this day is Brown Girl Readings, like one of the best reviews I've ever heard anybody talk about a book. Copyright 2015 for City on Fire. So very recent, just 2 years ago. And we know Miss Tart only writes, what, a book every 10 years or so? And this one, let me just go back. Literally, I like to do that to books. I like to study how, you have your editing eye on when you're reading. Like, I haven't read a Pulitzer Prize Goldfinch book. Who am I to try to dissect and figure out what's going on? I'm a reader. So anyway, 2013. So not that long ago. Okay, and then, of course, The Luminaries, the Man Booker Prize. So you got these award-winning novels, and they're pretty much doing the same thing as they open up the book. And it just made me wonder, who is that a trend with books? Like right now with the book covers, with all the painterly, type words like Exit West and Jasmine Ward, the way that they put her name on. Everything is just all pretty much like a trend. And I'm noticing that too. So marketing trends, book writing trends, and this was 2013, Eleanor Catton, Man Booker Prize, or Booker Prize, whatever you want, whichever one is correct. And then Cold Mountain is the one that I want to read also. So I got 4 books and only one more quarter. And I'm still reading The Brief History of 7 Killings. Lord have mercy. And I'm wearing my Brief History 7 Killings. You notice the tie-in because, it's really stressing me out. I'm going to need to listen to my Legend CD, which is one of my favorite CDs of all time. Bob Marley, Legend, because it's got all the good stuff on it. Okay, so hi, Alicia, pretty brown-eyed reader. Alicia. And Alicia, well, you were here you said at the tail end of last night. Anyone that pops in, I'm just asking, since you guys are all there in the chat together, and it doesn't go on to the recorded part of the video, to go to each other's channels. If you are already subscribed to them, wonderful. If not, for anybody that shows up and has a Booktube channel that are chatting and a part of this live, Booktube Live, because it's not just me, it's us, it's Booktube Live right now. So to subscribe to one another and watch each other's videos and support and like. And I know we don't have all kind of time in the day, and there's millions of things that we have to do and loads of booktubers, and we're just popping up out of the woodwork everywhere. I know when I popped up, I was like, oh, this is so much fun. They're like me. I found my family. Anyway, so that's all. You might have missed that, and then I am taking like a little roll call, and I wrote your name down last night too, and that's just for me. That is just for me. It's not like I want to see who shows up. No, it's just I like to write stuff down. I like to be involved, and kind of the artist part of me likes to study me and study people. I'm a people watcher. I'm a all that kind of a thing because it actually seeks in and it helps me to create art. Art is life. Okay. Love the shirt, Denise. Thank you. I love it. Yeah. I have a Bob Marley shirt that I got in Montego Bay, and it's so old. And now I just paint it, and it's got paint on it, and Bob is just like coming off. It's just old. It's a black t-shirt with Bob Marley on it, and it's got that beautiful smile, and his hair is going back. Yeah. So, anyway, so this is Cold Mountain. Yeah, I like that sound. Books. And it's got French flaps, you guys. Nothing in the flap. Like, some of them are really, like, just beautiful inside. But this one's just got the French flaps. And you can use it. This is what I do to French flaps. When I first, I use it as a bookmark. I don't know who else does that. I'm sure a whole bunch of people do. And then you use the back part as a bookmark if you don't have a bookmark. But I make bookmarks. So I always have a darn bookmark. And I like to get the ones from, this is one I just painted like a while ago. And it's just on cardboard, like cereal boxes. I don't like to throw stuff away that I can use art. So that's my bookmark. And I had to take it out of the Stephen King book because I finished it. So it's just sitting here waiting for that moment to share that with you, I guess. So let me check in because I keep seeing it on my phone, but it's not refreshing. I'm going to have to refresh again. I just subbed to your channel, Kay says, for Denise Rader. Hey, that's awesome. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, and Kay, I'm going to be all over your channel for 2018. You made me go back. What is the book club that every one of us joined? Was it Black Essence? What? Oh, because I used to find it in the Essence. I still to this day get the subscription for Essence, and I was going to show you guys that last night, but we got to talking about other stuff. They're over there. So, Black Expressions, yes. I am telling you, Black Expressions. Okay, me and whoever else, and there wasn't a lot of us, but the ones that I used to talk to all the time, my friends, I'm talking about like way back in the day, we had subscribed to Black Expressions and we're getting our books. And then they were billing you later. I'm like, I ain't got the money. We were so young and we were just getting these free books, right? And then I was like, oh, the books stopped. Oh, because I haven't paid them. Let me go ahead and pay them. That's so embarrassing, but I wasn't the only one that was doing that, I'm sure. But and you can get them in all kind of different names and different addresses. I'm sorry, they racked up my shelves. And then as I got older, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should pay for them books. See, it's people like me that make companies go under. No, seriously though, I love Black Expressions, and yes, I did get caught up and I paid, and then they start sending me more books. So that's how that story is going. Laugh out loud, me too, Denise. See, I'm saying. Let me refresh my laptop because it's going away real quick there. So that's the last message I saw. But so, so I'll be on Kay's channel if you guys have not watched Kay, and I think it's Kay's Too Cute. And so now I was going to ask you, what's too cute? What does that mean, Kay? Is that what they always said to you? That you're just too cute. Oh, you're just so cute. What was that? She said, laugh out loud. See, I can see it real quick. Let me see. Yes, I was broke and paying for all those books. Yes. I love Black Expressions. And where do they go to? Did they just... And every time I see a subscription service, I'm like, Black Expressions had y'all years ago. They've been doing that. They've been doing that. It was awesome. It was really awesome. So, yeah, that's where I got it from. You're cute. Exactly. You're cute. So, Kay is too cute. It just carries on, right? And yeah, they used to call me baby, and I used to get so tired of it. So tired of it. Like, my first name is Denise. and my middle name. Even my grade school teachers never called me Denise. They called me by my middle name, Diane. And my dad called me Diane, and my mom called me Diane. And when we were in the house, I just started noticing, like, when I would grow up, and they'd be talking amongst themselves. And then when it got to me, it was like I wasn't there because I'm the baby of the family. They were like, so who's going to go pick up the baby? The baby this, the baby that. Baby Cakes was like my main nickname. And then they just shortened it. And I was like, I do have a first name, you guys. Hello. But anyway, that's that little story. So Cold Mountain, a novel, and this is the fourth one. And so let's see if Cold Mountain does that. And then you know what, I'm going to start paying attention to, because I've been looking up trends in books. Maybe it's the same publishing houses, maybe the same editor. And they've got nice maps in here in Cold Mountain, but this is the book. I just really want to read this. And I also want to read the Matterhorn, but I'm not going to get through 4 big old books in 1 quarter. The Shadow of a Crow. First sentence. At the first gesture of morning, comma, flies begin stirring. Sentence over. Period. Okay? Second sentence. Inman's, somebody's name is Inmans, Inman's eyes, and the long wound at his neck drew them, comma, and the sound of their wings and the touch of their feet were soon more potent than a yard full of roosters in rousing a man to wake, period. So his second sentence was short, but still 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of a second sentence when the first sentence didn't even take up the whole line. So now I know how to write a book. I'm just going to go through all these books, and then I'm going to just put my little story together, because my book is good. I read some of my book it's just good to me. It may be trash. No, that's a lie. I don't think it's trash, but I need to work on it. I need to finish it. I need to pay attention to it. And I had that written down the other day, and I didn't discuss it. Like, what are your 1-year plans in reading? You guys know mine. I'm doing the blackout. I want to talk to as many indie African-American writers. And what time is it? 9:58. We at the 2-minute mark, you guys. 2 minutes. So that's my plan for next year. As you know, it's the blackout. I'm reading only African-American authors. If I read 5 books in 1 month, 2 of them have to be women. I'm a woman. I am repping the women writers. So at least 2 of those have to be women. If all 5 of them, fine. 2 of them have to be a woman. 1 of them has to be an indie author, which is an independent writer that doesn't have a big, huge publishing house. They're maybe selling it, doing like, I forget his name. Anyway, the rapper, he's like the blueprint on how to be independent. And Master P, thank you, Denise. Somebody said it out there. Kay, Pretty Brown, I read it. Alicia, Karen, somebody said that, and I heard you. But seriously, an indie author. And then, of course, the other 2, did I have another rule? Of course, the rules were African American only. It couldn't be like Marlon James. I can't read A Brief History of 7 Killings next year. That's why I'm reading it this year. I read his phenomenal Book of Night Women this year, and I loved it. If you have that book on your shelf, because I really got mad at myself. I have the Book of Night Women on my shelf, and so when I read it, because of the book club that I joined, that's the name of the book club. I read that book, and I was like kicking myself, like, that's a shame. I need to just read the books that I have on my shelf, because that book is so good. To me, it's better than the book I'm reading now, The Brief History of 7 Killings. I'm sorry. It just is. I mean, and it was shorter. Maybe that's why. But it's a different story. It's not like he's writing the same type of story. It's different. Okay? And I absolutely inhaled that book, and I loved it. So I can't read him next year because he's Jamaican African descent. So next year, you guys know the rules. So, like, I love this book. I can read this. I've already read it, but I'm just saying. Jasmine Guy is the writer. She's African American. Afeni Shakur is who it's about. However, if this person was not an African American, and even if it was about my sister here, Miss Afeni Shakur, rest in peace, I wouldn't be reading it, right? So that's kind of like my rules for next year. Like, I can read this. I can't wait to, because I'm on the 3rd Midnight series. I love Midnight series by Sister Soldier. And so I will be reading that next year. And it's my time, it's 10 o'clock. And so, hi, Sharon. Hi. She said, keep going. Okay, well, what you want to talk about? What you want to talk about? Okay, I'm going to have to refresh. I don't know what's going on with the YouTube. Like, I'm looking at my laptop, as you guys know. And so, it's seriously still at Kay's last thing where she said hi. Oh, no, that's the newest one. Okay, so that's new. Hi, everyone. Hello, everyone, says Sharon. And it is Sharon, right? Sharon from Cincinnati. Oh, my goodness. And what else did I miss? Pretty Brown-Eyed Reader. I have the Book of Night Women on my shelf. See? And she said, laugh out loud. I'm telling you, pretty Alicia, I am telling you, when you read that book, at least for me, there was a lady in the book club that didn't like that book. I'm like, huh? So anyway, but that's just how it is. I mean, some people like stuff and some people don't, whatever, you know. When you read it, tell me if you don't be like, I have this on my shelf. I mean, come back and just tell me that you didn't like that book. I mean, I'm going to watch the video because I know you're going to wrap it up good. And I really totally enjoy what you do with your book club and keeping them on the up and up. That's all I'm going to say about that. So if you haven't seen her video, you guys, Pretty Brown-Eyed Reader had recorded a video that she sat on for a little while. And I can understand that. When you watch the video, you're going to be so happy that she did put that video out because it's so true. Because I have said something like that. I'm sure others have said it. So she let us know that you're not alone. A lot of us feel this way. How can you not? I ain't going to tell. That's all I'm going to say. How can you not? So when you go watch her video and you subscribe and you like that video, you come back and you tell us and you tell her in the comments how you appreciate it, the fact that she did not sit on that video no more. And I don't know if she said on the long, but I remember you said something about maybe not wanting to share it, and I loved you for it. Thank you. So I bought it for the cover. Yes, the cover is so beautiful. That's like one of my favorite paintings. I mean, that is an actual, you know, not that I'm schooling anybody, but, you know, I love to look at art, and it's called The Negress, and it's a famous painting. And when I saw it on the cover, I'm like, how'd they do that? You know, oh my gosh, they got this masterpiece on this cover, and then the little, you know, animated type of circly things that go around. It's just very beautiful. I love that cover. And the story, oh my, yeah, that story is so like that. So, yes, I love that video, says Kay. Wasn't it good? Didn't you like say high five, Alicia? Thank you. How old were you when you knew you were an artist? Kindergarten. I think everybody is. I'm one of those people, and it was funny too because when I took an art class, and I don't really like art school for me. I'm self-taught, just like I'm, you know, whatever. Anything that I like to do, I think we're all created. Since I am a believer in God, I believe that we are created. So to me, we are created to create. I mean, it comes natural to us to create things. And for whether you're, like my mother used to sit up there and just constantly crochet and do things like that or write down stuff. My mother became an artist in the last few years of her life. She was just like painting like crazy. And we were like, where did that come from? And then I thought back, like when I had this art class, and I forget which artist, and you know, there is a famous quote out there, and it was in the art book about how we're all essentially artists, and it's just some of us keep going from grade school. You know, we like to color and paint and do all those things, and that was like one of the highlights for all of us when we were in school. And what happened to me in grade school is I remember being in the lunchroom, and they had me and this young kid, and I'm young too, I was like in grade school. So me and this other kid, and he was a boy. and they had us just drawing, and I was just, doing this, and I filled up the whole paper, and he did too, and all the other kids were writing stick figures, and the little mommy, dad, and me, and the dog kind of pictures, and the sun, and the little rays, and they were doing that kind of a thing. Ours were abstract. We were using every color in the crayon box, and we filled up the whole paper. Now, maybe it was like, I don't even know how long, because I know I was just young. But what happened is, we in our grade school had this blank wall. And if you're from Kansas and you went to school with me, and you remember that mural that got put up on Belvoir Elementary's wall, they took my painting, my little drawing, and the young kid's drawing, the little boy. I keep saying young, like I wasn't the same age he was. They took our drawings, smooshed them together, and I'm telling you, it became that mural. That was my first mural. They didn't give us no credit, though. But you can't tell me that wasn't, because I looked at his and it was all these swervy, curvy lines, and mine was like lightning, and I filled in all the little lightning things, and it was all these lines and whatever, and we filled it up. We were the only kids that filled up the paper. They took our papers and they gave them to somebody, and they had this inspiration to do a mural on the wall at the grade school. And when I looked at it, I'm like, that's like, I did some of that. I just remember being very proud of that moment. And so I just think that, and then I stopped because I was a reader and I wrote. I always thought I was just going to do nothing but write books. That was always my dream. Then I got married and had kids. And okay, bye, y'all. I ain't got time. No, I'm just joking. But seriously. Oh, my kids are going to kill me. But, I love y'all. It just, you suck the life out of folks. That was a joke. Seriously, that was a joke. I joke, I kid. I love my kids. I really do. I really do. I do. So anyway, absolutely. I believe we are most like God when we are creating. Hallelujah. Yes, I do believe that. And she's laughing at. It's the truth, though, right? You can laugh all you want to, but I'm here with you. I'm laughing too on the inside and crying somewhere deep down. Yes, it's Sharon. Good. Okay. Yep, because I wrote down Sharon. And I kept thinking about that. And I was like, did she say Sandra or Sharon? And I'm just calling her Sharon. But yeah. How did you? And I read that. Absolutely. Laugh out loud. Pretty brown-eyed reader says, I bought it for the cover. Okay, so I did read that. So I'm just scrolling back to make sure I didn't miss anything. Denise, Doubleday bought Black Expressions. For real? So don't make me go on Doubleday and try to get some books. Hold on, for real. Okay, so what did they do with it? Did they do anything with that book club? I'm hearing on Doubleday right now. See, Denise, you're always trying to get me in some trouble. She had me hooked on thrift books. They keep sending me emails talking about we have found some selections for you. Oh, you guys, let me tell you what I do to break away from the habit that this girl done got me on with thrift books. So this is how I don't shop. Or shop. Even when I was in Barnes and Nobles, I told my son, you know how at the ends of the aisle or island, they call them, in the stores, and they have the books lined up, and like maybe rows of 4s or rows of 5s. I'm getting hot with all these lights. But they have the books lined up, and even when Thrift Books sends you an email, they have these picks for you, right? Based off of what you read. They just, whatever. So, and it's like a line of 5, 5, 5, So what I do to make sure that I don't purchase anything, I look at the roll of 5. If I even got it on my shelf or have read it, I cannot buy a book, even if it's 1 out of the 5. So I would literally go to Thrift Books, and after getting those emails, and I go, nope. So when I was in Barnes & Noble and I told DJ, I said, look at this whole stack. And the Brief History of 7 Killings was on the thing. It was like the Barnes & Noble staff picks, and they had that on there. And amongst a lot of other really good books that we've been reading around here in Booktube. And so I went through the thing. I can't get, nope. I own about 4 out of 5. Nope. I own about 3 out of 5. Nope. I've read about 2 out of 5. So I can't buy any books. But I did buy the Play-Doh because I didn't have that one. So, and it was only $5, so don't sue me. And then I bought DJ, the Brothers Karamazov or whatever his name is. So Doubleday bought Black Expressions. Denise, see, I just hope they got a whole bunch of pictures of books, and I can. Oh, it says Doubleday Book Club. All I typed in was Doubleday, and Doubleday Book Club comes up. Denise, see, I'm gonna get to bed tonight, and I'm doing overtime tomorrow. So, what is like the best time for you guys to like join in on the live chat on Saturdays and also on Sundays? Sunday, I will not do it in the afternoons. Probably maybe like I'm thinking 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And Saturday maybe 2 o'clock. Because after I get off of work tomorrow, I think I'm gonna go walk, and I might just do it outside while I'm walking after I sit down and take my Decameron, because I gotta get caught up with that. And I like reading, like I said, the Decameron outside, because I'm getting old, and the more I read laying down in my bed, I just, excuse me, I read what? What'd you say? Hold on. I'll be like that. So the older I get, the more I fall asleep reading books. So anyway, yes, it's Sharon. Let me scroll back down. Miss Sharon. I'm so happy you're here. I logged on an hour too early looking for you. Then I remembered you're in Texas. Yes, Kay. I'm sorry. And I might not have put Central Standard Time, CST, on and I was actually going to take a picture of a book and put it on Instagram tonight, just to remind people that I am going to go live Monday through Friday from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. So it is now 10:12. But I logged on an hour too early. Kia is laughing at me. Kia Danae. Now, is Danae your middle name? And do people just call you, is it Kia or Kaya? I'm going to say Kaya. And then you just say yes or no. And then I'm going to say Kia. Or you just tell me if it's Kia, is it K-E? Then just put K-E-E or something. I don't know. It's just because I know people that are named Kai or Kaya or Kia. I like that, though. It flows together really smooth. And let me scroll back up to see if I missed anything. Absolutely. How are you when you knew you're nervous? Yeah, great school, truthfully. Oh, but to go on to answer Kay even more about the whole artist thing, I tried to paint with oils one time. This is when I was married the first time, because I've been married twice. First time I was married, I was very young, and he was military, fighter pilot, pilot dude, very hecka smart, straight A student, just, an officer. And so anyway, he bought me, because I was interested, anything I was interested in, he would get. And so I was interested in painting. He bought me an easel, all the oils, the brushes and everything. I didn't know how to manipulate nothing with an oil. And plus, it's very pungent and smells really strong. And I was like, oh, I'm going to smell up the whole house. Try to learn how to paint. And I couldn't paint then. We had little kids. We were living on the military post. And there was a lot of stuff that I was responsible for, being a young mother and a young wife. And I wasn't as secure as I was years later when I started to paint. So then I was so young and in my head and in my mind, and you have all that insecurity and what have you. And I went through a period of where I was, I've always kind of been a recluse, but yeah, I just could not do it. And I tried. I was painting these flowers, the colors that were so vibrant and beautiful, but I just couldn't do it. I felt like that feeling, almost the same feeling that stopped me from writing. Is that feeling that somebody's over your shoulder watching, or I'm painting and they're going to judge what I'm writing and what I'm painting. And so I just kind of stopped, or just did it for myself, and that became just really bad for me, I think. But still I still got back to both of those things. I did the poetry books. I did 3 of those, so I'm done with that. I got that out of my system, and I want to write a novel before my demise. And even if it's just for me, as I used to write short stories all the time, that same grade school teacher used to tell me, "Don't stop writing. Don't ever stop writing. Your short stories are wonderful." So, but I don't want to write short stories. I want to write full on big old I want an Eleanor Catton. Okay. So when I got older, and my kids were older, and that marriage was gone, and I married someone else. It was, I was older, so the marriage was more comfortable. Um, and I wrote my books in that marriage, and I also started my painting in that marriage. And but I was older, and I felt more secure, and I just didn't give a dang what people thought about me. And I just said, frig it, I'm just gonna teach myself how to do it, because that's how. I mean, they were just terrible. Some of them were just ridiculous, but you couldn't tell me that because it was just the act of doing it and creating. And so I just fell in love. And and I've been doing it since then. So nonstop every year I paint. And then, I got some collectors when I moved here to Florida. I mean, from Florida to Texas. And I had my first art shows in Florida. My my first art show was in Jacksonville, Florida. And my long term goal was to be any museum, because it's a museum. And I used to go to the La Villa, is it La Villa Museum in Jacksonville, and they always have these amazing exhibits, right? Well, I go up there because a friend of mine says, like, you should bring your art up here and we'll talk to the curator and she can look at your art. You need to get in on this show. And it was called What's Going On, and they do it every year. And I was like, whatever. I hope she likes it. And my little folk art, whatever. And so I took it there. She liked it. She loved it. But the weekend before I went to go see her to see if I can get into this museum, the art exhibit was Brown versus the Board of Education. Brown versus the Board of Education, Topeka, Kansas, where I'm from. My mother was married to Mr. Smith. My older three siblings are Smiths. The little girl in Brown versus the Board of Education is their cousin. I went to school with her children, who called me cousin because we have the same family. So I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, looking at this Brown versus the Board of Education, all these papers and pictures and stuff that they had. And I was like, this is an amazing exhibit. And I've seen exhibits on that before, but to be there, I'm thinking, oh my God. And I get to show this lady my art. She liked it. I was in the show the following weekend when they did the What's Going On exhibit. And I got my picture in the paper in Jacksonville. And the most thing that stuck out to me was, I'm from Topeka, Kansas. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. The exhibit that I just saw last weekend are the people that I know. How cool is that? So why wouldn't I keep painting? That kind of a thing. Now, see, you got me all discombobulated. But nobody can ever take that away from me. It's not like I'm trying to be famous and I don't want Beyonce to buy a painting for $1 million or anything like that. Because somebody asked me, how big do you want to get as an artist? I'm like, I'm already big as an artist because I painted it and it's on my dang wall. That's how big I want to get. I want to like my own stuff. And I do. I freaking love it. I sleep with it. It's in here. It's there. It's freaking everywhere. It's every goddamn wall in my place. Okay? That's that. And I think I hit something. Don't know what I hit, and I don't know what I hit. I don't know what I hit. Okay, can you see me? I just don't know what I hit. But that is a moment with my art that I am going to love for the rest of my life. And are you still there? I think so, because I can actually see myself, but it's like I said, it's delayed. I love seeing your art. Thank you so much, Miss Alicia. Thank you, Kay. And it's everywhere, and I would do a proper spin around. But I did actually, I did a video, but remember the whole editing thing, and it's all on this laptop. And I was just going through putting some art someplace, and I said I might as well just like film it, because I forget her name now. She was asking me about the art, and so I put a different one, as you can see. So I'll keep changing it so that it'll always be something different back there. Maybe not all the time. Maybe it'll sit there for a whole week or something, but it'll be a different piece. And so this is some that I'm working on and I need to get back to it because I got 3 of them done that are the same color scheme with the big brown faces. And thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's that. What a great story. Thank you. Because I loved having that moment. I was like, those are my people. And I was the only one. And this art exhibit in that museum was not supposed to be anybody that did not live in Jacksonville. And I got in and she let me in and I really loved it. And yeah, that's that. So anywho, I am going to go. It is like 10:21 now. So if you have some favorite poems, and I cannot wait for next year, although I can because I don't want to rush time. You know, I'm getting old. So, oh, that's what I want to ask before I let you guys go or leave. These 4 books that I read, these 2 sentences that pretty much kind of did the same thing. And yeah, I'm going to look into that. And I know you guys are going to probably pay attention to that or have already paid attention to that. I don't want to hit anything. Oh. Okay. Now I can see it says beautiful work. And it's over my face, but I can't see nothing. Anyway, so I'll wrap this up. There's Cold Mountain. And I read that. Now this is, it says a masterpiece, as close to a masterpiece as American writing is going to come these days, says Raleigh News from North Carolina, from the newspaper The Observer. So if you vote for that one, it's called Cold Mountain. Just put Cold Mountain. The Goldfinch. Donna Tartt. Not to push, but I'm just saying. It was a very long sentence, but and this woman just likes to write. I get a feel that she just really likes to write. The only other one I've read by her is The Secret History. And, you know, I have a love-hate relationship. When I first start a book, I kind of like, and then you just keep plugging away, and I loved it. So I kind of really, really want to read this one because it was almost like when I wanted that book, I had to have it. And I went to the store like 2 or 3 times and they didn't have it. So when I finally got it, then my artist friend bought one for me and I told him to keep that one because I bought mine too. So then the third one is City on Fire, which Dee Dee just raved about, and I really loved her review. I mean, it was so good. I bought that book while listening to her review on Booktube. It was amazing. And then it's weird how this one is lighter and it's got more pages than the other ones. So whatever kind of paper that they're using, they did that because this is very light compared to City on Fire and The Goldfinch. So this one sounds very interesting. Seriously. Dee Dee said this one. I'm going to read it anyway. So, but I will say, I really want to read this. That's a heavy sucker. And I really want to read this. And after I read the 2 sentences, I kept going with this one. But then I went back to this one with her cool self. And so this is my pick for starting in October. Hopefully I will be done with everything else because I need to wrap that stuff up. We only got 1 more week in September. This is Vlogtember. September 22nd. I'm tired of talking. Not really, because y'all know I can go. That's why I'm doing live for a whole hour and something. But I thank you so much for entertaining me and having this chat. And I'm going to write down your names. And I really like our little group here. And now I'm getting that error message. But the time is still going. So I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you again. Thank you for being okay. Bye, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And again, I don't know what time, but I have to work, and then I'm gonna have to go for my walk, and I'm gonna read the Decameron, and maybe that's when I'll pop in when I've read at least 50 pages of the Decameron, and then I'll come on and talk to you about it. How about that? Bye, you guys. Peace. I said peace. I say peace. Yes, I want to stop. Yes. It says, are you sure you want to stop streaming? Oh, because they know I'm talking. Y'all trying to be funny, Booktube?